welcome you to a Saturday in the SEC on ESPN. The third Saturday in September, as a matter of fact. That brings us to the Swamp for what traditionally is the matchup between Tennessee and the Gators. Again, everyone, Bob Wischusen here with Dan Orlovsky. Allison Williams will join us in just a moment. Florida, top 10 team, SEC championship hopes, college football playoff hopes, maybe national championship hopes. And it now rides on a quarterback that hasn't started a game in 7 years since he was a freshman in high school. What is going through the mind of Kyle Trask as he gets ready for this challenge today?
Well, you'd imagine it started Sunday morning of last week when he wakes up and he's the starting quarterback at Florida, and then he goes to campus. He's the starting quarterback, and everyone's talking about him. And obviously now wakes up on game day, and he's the starting quarterback at Florida. The reality is this football team's strength offensively is its skill players, and as long as he plays a boring brand of quarterback and gets it out of his hands to them, this offense with him will be just fine.
Not that there's any pressure to being the starting quarterback at Florida, Allison, but there are statues of Heisman Trophy winners outside the Swamp. What about the pressure that is on Trask today? You were down in the field during warm-ups. How does he look?
If he's feeling any extra pressure, Bob, he's not showing it. He was very business-like and focused as he warmed up for his first college start. And he insisted to me that nothing changes. He said, my prep, my mentality is the same because I'm always ready to go each week in case my number is called. He said, really, I'm just excited to play Tennessee in the Swamp. This is why you come to Florida. If there are extra nerves, guys, as head coach Dan Mullen had this advice. He said, just go throw 5 picks. Then you don't have to worry about being the starting quarterback at Florida. He's keeping them loose.
Not an easy thing to do, as Kyle Trask will get the football first. Tennessee won and chose to defer after the coin toss. And we're underway in Gainesville. And a kick that finds the front left corner of the end zone, so it comes out to the 25-yard line. Well, Kyle Trask had some kind of fourth quarter, putting up 19 come-from-behind points on the road at Kentucky after he replaced Felipe Franks, who went out with the ankle injury and is now done for the year. How about the scouting report, Dan? What do we need to see from Kyle Trask today?
Well, the big thing is those skill players on the outside. Get the ball to them. This is your football team now. Take ownership of it, and then understand Tennessee defensively. What you see before the snap is not going to be what you see after the snap.
First down, first carry of the game, and the true freshman middle linebacker, Henry To'o was there to make the stop after a gain of 3. The head coach, of course, Dan Mullen, led his team to a 10-win season last year, but now he's without his quarterback, Felipe Franks, although wins against Miami in week 0 to start the season, and on the road, come from behind in the fourth quarter at Kentucky, a great way to start. Here's Trask to throw for the first time. As all day, he'll unload a deep ball. Looking for Grimes. Underthrown and adjusted to. Avon Grimes. All the way down to the 28-yard line of the Vols, a gain of 43.
That's really about this offensive line right there for Florida. Giving Trask enough time to scan all the way from the right side of the field to the left. Sees Grimes throw up the hand. And then I love the fact that Grimes goes back to the football and makes that catch.
Ryan up the middle. Down to about the 26-yard line. Melissa Charba, the mom of Kyle Trask. She's probably about 10 times more nervous than her son is.
Sure. And you don't see it from Kyle right now. The mannerism warming up. You watched him come into that game last week. It never seemed too big for him, and certainly starting right now, he seems completely comfortable.
On a keeper, it's Trask. Looks like he's got a first down.
Guys, I talked to Melissa, Kyle's mom, about an hour before kick, and I asked her how she was doing. She smiled. She said, I'm okay for now. But she kind of feeds off the energy of her son. She said, he is so calm and confident that nothing changes for him. And she said, he's so ready to play in this game. He told her last night, I wish we could just go kick off right now.
Kyle Trask in high school was the backup to De'Aaron King, who now is a star, obviously, at Houston. He's basically been a backup his whole career. He's looking towards the end zone here to Kyle Pitts, and the tight end finds the goal line chalk for a Gator touchdown. Nothing Florida, just like that.
Not bad for the quarterback. Start the drive with the ball downfield. Little play action fake, find your tight end crossing. Looks like he's been doing this a lot longer than 7 years ago. Great throw, celebrate as a family.
Fair catch called for by Ty Chandler to bring it out to the 25-yard line. So now can Jeremy Pruitt's team respond? They have not handled adversity terribly well this year. An unlosable game to start off the year against Georgia State. They lose the late lead against BYU on the final drive of regulation and drop it in overtime. He knows his team's going to face adversity today. They're already facing it now.
Yeah, and he's unwavering in his confidence of his football team. They've got a lack of experience and a lack of maturity because they're so young. It's a deadly combo, but they need their young kids to get better and win football games starting today.
Jarrett Garantano, play action on first down. An easy pitch and catch to Juwan Jennings, who's wrapped up and thrown back, but he's got forward progress for a gain of 7. Garantano, 17 consecutive games started. And if his completion percentage were to hold for his career, it would be a Tennessee record. But what does he have to do today?
Well, understand you're going against a great defensive line at home. Find your best player, Juwan Jennings, like you just did. And then those two guys, Juwan Jennings and Marquez Callaway, are 6'3". Give them chances on the outside for some opportunity balls.
That's Jennings in motion. That's a sideways pass. That might be backwards. Now they're going to say that that was incomplete. Ron Judge on the far side immediately signaled an incomplete pass. But the old rule is if it's not forward, it's backward. Let's see if this should have been a live ball. Standing right on the 25-yard line, and the ball goes behind the 25-yard line. That should have been a live ball and a loss of a couple of yards for Tennessee. Third down and 4, play clock winding down. Gators show blitz. Here they come. Garantano, he's got Jennings. He's got a first down and more. Jennings breaking tackles, spins free. He's across midfield. Oh, it's a big early play. A confidence boost for the Vols offense.
That's the guy they got to get the ball to, though. Jennings is one of those players that impacts the game emotionally because he plays so physical. Nice conversion.
27-yard gain, and they'll now play with tempo. Quick hitter over the middle. It's Austin Pope, the tight end. And a late flag throw. That might have been a late hit after the play. Kayron Calvert, the right tackle.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 74 on the offense. 15-yard penalty from the spot. It will be second down.
He belted Sean Davis and paid the price.
Talked a little bit about lack of experience, and then there's also a little bit of immaturity because they're so young. It kind of displays itself. Calvert right there, no need to make that hit on first down after that third down conversion and a nice completion. Now you've hurt your football team.
Right after the big momentum building play across midfield, it's second down and 19. Back near the 50-yard line. Garantano gets out of the pocket. Now it's third down and 14.
like that out of Garantano right there. Again, understanding this is an elite defensive line for Florida, and you're on the road. The last thing you want to do as a quarterback early is get that defensive line going with sitting in the pocket. No one was open, everyone dropped out, let me get some yards.
Four-man rush on 3rd and 13. Montana checks it down. No chance to pick up the first down as Tim Jordan is immediately wrapped up and dropped. Maury Burney there to make the stop.
Really, that happens because of that elite pass rush that I talked about for Florida. Tennessee decides to keep a tight end in and their tailback in to help on their edges. Only 3 receivers out. Florida's got enough people to drop under there and not allow that ball to go up over their head.
And that penalty on the right tackle, K'Ron Calvert, short circuits the drive. Now Joe Doyle will try with the intentional end-over-end kick to pin the Gators deep. And hops over the goal line into the end zone for a touchback. Florida with the ball at their own 20-yard line and a 7-0 lead when we come back to the Swamp. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Nelson Williams here at the Swamp. Flawless opening drive. Kyle Trask and the Gators. Trask under pressure, hit from behind. The ball comes out. And now it is a fumble recovery by Toho. Well inside the field of play. Daniel Batuli knocked it out. And the freshman recovered. And after all of that, in the end, the Vols do get a takeaway in the red zone.
They bring a corner blitz. That's what allows Batuli to get free right around the right edge. And Kyle Trask, this is what he's done so well since the start of the 4th quarter last week, was just get the ball out of your hands. He doesn't do it there. Batuli's able to get his hand over the top.
Now the crowd is reacting because they believe Trask's knee may have been down before the ball came out. I think they showed that replay a moment ago up on the big screen. Wide receiver screen to Jennings. It's a block. Gets down to about the 11-yard line before he's bumped out. He'll actually mark it out right at the 11-yard line. That's a gain of 8 on first down.
I love that right there. Again, Jennings, such an impactful player for this offense. You got a 6'2", 205-pound receiver in Callaway, lead blocking for a 210-pound wide receiver. Just get the ball out in space. It's an extension of your run game. Now you can see Garantano right now going up and down the line of scrimmage. Ball going to get run to the right.
Instead, it's Todd Chandler inside the 10-yard line, close to the 9, and that looks to be inside the 9-yard line. That makes it 1st and goal.
Really what he's doing there is trying to make sure that this offensive line knows who they're going to in that blocking scheme and declaring, hey, this guy might be the Mike linebacker, this guy might be the middle linebacker.
This is only the 4th goal-to-go situation this season for the Vols. This is their 4th game.
They love these 2 tight end sets. Gonna be to the bottom of our screen, behind Wood Anderson and Austin Pope. Love getting into him, love running behind him.
Chandler runs that way. At the 5, onto the 3-yard line. You know it's coming if you're Florida. That's the tendency, and you still can't stop it.
Well, there is something to be said about that as a coaching staff, right? That you go, yeah, this is who we are, and this is what we're going to do, and you've got to show the ability to stop it. The key for Tennessee is having something off of it. At some point, having something off of it. But Austin Pope, number 81, he's the guy that they absolutely love in their run game to go behind.
That's the true freshman Eric Gray and a tailback for the Vols. Play action. Garantano. That's blocked at the line. The blitzer coming through. Jonathan Grenard, the Louisville transfer. Austin Pope looked like he was open at the goal line. Garantano had it knocked out.
I love the play call. Fake, little fake right behind Austin Pope, leading to the flat. But that's an incredible job by Grenard of knowing, okay, I'm unblocked. I can't get to the quarterback, but let me get my hands up.
Grenard was recruited to Louisville by Todd Grantham. Spent his last year of college football, now playing for him here with the Gators. 3rd down and goal. Play clock at 3. Garantano gets the play off. Bullets one into the end zone. It's tipped, and on a dive, it looks like it's intercepted through the hands of Juwan Jennings. Trey Dean gets the pick off the carom, and the Vols give it right back.
But don't break. Garantano, nice eyes, looks away. That ball's right on Juwan Jennings' face mask. Listen, you're the senior, 5th-year senior. You have to catch this football, and I know the thought might be, well, that ball's coming in hot. It's a tight window down in these red zones. You gotta, as a quarterback, put it on his face mask, which is what Garantano did. That ball has to be caught.
Piron looking for a cutback lane and not finding much. It's 7-0 here. A missed opportunity for Tennessee. Just over 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Piron this time finds a lane. He's got a 1st down. We're just starting the day, college football-wise, on ESPN and all of our networks. 7:30 Eastern on ABC, the ESPN app. Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. It's the Pokes and the Horns, Oklahoma State, and number 12 Texas tonight in Austin. Trask well protected. High throw over the middle, and he's got Kyle Pitts. Big voids in the middle of this Tennessee defense, Dan, that you saw on tape all week long. Yeah,
the way they kind of set their coverage, they like to have 2 safeties high. It exposes the middle of the field. They bring Toho on a pressure. Florida picks it up, and that totally vacates the middle of the field. And Kyle Trask looks incredibly comfortable back there, but that credit right now goes to this offensive line for Florida, picking up some pressure.
Gators with a touchdown lead as we head to the second quarter. As we welcome you back to Gainesville, and we welcome you back to the SEC on ESPN. It is college football presented by Xfinity. And there's the old ball coach celebrating the 25th anniversary of an SEC title team. Got Manning and Wuerffel and Fred Taylor among other Gator greats in town. They actually had their big reunion last night at our hotel, and Steve Spurrier stopped with, I mean, every Gator fan in the lobby.
Unbelievable.
Took pictures, signed autographs. He's just a great ambassador for college football, and he always seems to have time for the Gator fans when he's here.
Those were the teams you grew up, I mean, certainly for me, grew up watching. Riddell Anthony and Manning and Wuerffel, led by Steve Spurrier.
You were growing up 25 years ago. That makes me feel really old and bald. Trask. Wide open, middle of the field. Again, it's Kyle Pitts. The tight end has had a big first half, and a late flag is thrown.
There is no targeting on the play.
Still a gain of 17. And a first down for Florida. Trask, off play action, swings one to the sideline. Tyree Cleveland out of bounds. Looks like right about at the 10-yard line. Might be a hair shy of first and goal.
I love it. Watch the offensive line pick up the protection. Cleveland runs the DB by, and a quarterback that's really confident right now in all the pieces that are around him.
It's first down. I think they're calling it a goal-to-go situation right at the 10-yard line. Piron. To the 8th. They actually are going to stretch the chains out, so it's not quite a goal-to-go situation. Florida could pick up a first down inside the 1.
I think you got to be diligent if you're Florida right here. A little bit hard-headed with your run game. Tennessee likes to play coverage down here. You should have numbers advantages in your run.
Run with Piron, jump cut in the backfield. He's inside the 5. So third down from just inside the 5-yard line. Kyle Trask's dad, Michael, also nervously looking up.
Great family moment today, though. I mean, they've waited 7 years for Kyle Trask to have his start as well. You know, if I'm Florida right here and Dan Mullen, I've got 2 tight ends on the field. Knowing that Tennessee likes to play a split coverage, try to attack that middle of the field here.
Play action for Trask. Good quarterback play.
Outstanding.
To throw it away and take the field goal.
It's the right play because it's the only play. No one there. You're going to have the chance to get 3 points on. And again, I talked about this with Kyle Trask. There's a difference between experience and maturity. And no, he does not have a ton of experience, but you can tell by the way he's handled himself and hung around for his opportunity. And going back to last week, he's plenty mature for the moment.
But it's also understanding the situation you're in, right? Against a team that's got a struggling offense, you have a chance to take a 2-score lead.
Off a turnover, too. Get points off your turnover.
So this is a 22-yard chip shot for Evan McPherson. Out of a hold of the punter, Tommy Townsend. 10-0 for Dan Mullen's Gators. We flash back to 2001 in a game that was postponed until December and was set to determine the SEC East. The 5th-ranked Vols took down the number 2-ranked Gators 34-32. It was a big day for running back Travis Stevens. 226 yards, 2 touchdowns, and it has been a coaching carousel under Phil Fulmer since he left the sidelines at Tennessee. Have they finally found the guy to restore the Vols to glory in Jeremy Pruitt? Tom will tell. His team now trails by 10. It will come out to the 25-yard line. And Felipe Franks continues to be a hard-working player for Florida. Out for the season, dislocated his ankle last week against Kentucky, but arrived early, Dan, and has been involved since the moment he arrived here at the Swamp.
And I'd say if you want to know anything about him, watch this. I mean, he could be on the sidelines, feeling bad for himself, trying to get some sympathy attention. He's right there with Kyle Trask, throwing him some snaps pregame, still involved. That's great leadership right there.
A screen on first down, deflected at the line again by Jonathan Grenard.
Guys, you can see this Tennessee offense just looks disjointed at times, and that's the case when they come to the sideline. Guys are really struggling to get on the same page. Watching, listening to conversations between players, and coaches, the communication just isn't there. At one point, an offensive lineman raised up his hands and said in disbelief, "What are we doing?" So they're struggling not just to execute, but to get on the same page.
Yeah, and that's something we talked about on film with this football team right now, and specifically their offense is lacking of communication. One guy away from really getting some positive plays, and that's been the story of the first half for them today.
Another swing pass. This time it's Jawan Jennings making something out of nothing. He picks up a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 8. James Houston tried to bring him down. That was the tackle that was missed out in the flat.
Talk about flying to the football. Look at all these blue jerseys coming in. The more people you get around, and how about that broken down tackle of Jennings, who again is not an easy guy to bring down by Marco Wilson. 3rd down defensively, Florida, again, the only success you've had is playing some coverage. That's what led to that last interception for Garantano right here. You've got to find 15.
Another swing pass. Is that a live ball? Are the officials going to say that that was a live pass? Ty Chandler was the intended receiver, scooped up by Sean Davis.
The pass was forward, therefore it was incomplete. It will be 4th down on the 23-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 5:02. 5:02. Thank you.
And that saves Tennessee in a big way because now they get to punt the ball away with 5:02 to go in the half. Joe Doyle now back to punt as Tennessee changes punters and he gets away a wobbly kick. Swain calls for and makes a fair catch at the 39-yard line. Again, well protected and allowed to deliver a strike. Tyree Cleveland for a first down.
I can't say enough of how impressive Kyle Trask has been with his eyes. For a kid who's not played a ton and certainly not started in 7 years, he's able to hold people where they are in their zones and then know, okay, my window to throw is now and it's open. It's very rare for a guy who has not had a lot of reps.
Cleveland makes another catch, reaching back on the slant. He does look so cool and calm out there, this Kyle Trask. This is a guy that 2017, 2 days before the opener against Michigan, has a foot injury, misses the entire year. Last season, had a chance to become the starter again. Felipe Franks was terrible against Georgia, had a tough game against Missouri. Kyle Trask comes in, does well, might have started the next week, breaks his foot again. Comes a blitz. It's picked up, high throw over the middle, perfectly executed to Freddie Swain. It's 1st and goal.
Watch Freddie Swain, just a little boring off the line. You bay toho, and then you burst by him. It's that same pressure that Tennessee's had some success with. Kyle Trask hangs in there, knows the weakness is down the middle of the field, trusts his possession receiver, Freddie Swain. The middle of the field down here is going to be open again if they want to take a shot.
Up the middle goes Pierce. And the pile up just shy of the 5-yard line. Matthew Butler made the stop. And if you're Florida, you should be in no rush. It's a goal-to-go situation. Take the play clock all the way down. Leave Tennessee no time. And end the first half with points at least of some kind.
And I think that's what you saw that last snap of Kyle Trask spending so much time looking to the sideline. Right now, Dan Mullen is lining up in a formation, likely trying to get some information. Tennessee, what are you going to do? He'll have Kyle Trask look back over. This is the play we want to get to.
They snap it, and Trask with a pump fake. On the slant, Van Jefferson, short of the end zone. It'll be 3rd down and goal. That's the 9th different receiver to catch a pass for Florida here in the first half.
Van Jefferson, the 5th-year senior, did an outstanding job of continuing to come back to the football, back to the quarterback, and came underneath the defense. That's what allowed Kyle Trask to make that throw. Now, last time they were down here 3rd and 2, they did a little play-action pass. Did not work. Expect a little power run game behind this offensive line.
They're loading up with extra tight ends. Damian Pierce. The pile moves. He's at the goal line. And it looks like Tennessee got a stop. It's going to be 4th down and goal just inside the 1-yard line. We'll see if Dan Mullen takes a timeout to talk things over as the clock's down to 24 seconds.
I mean, you should really let this go down to about 3 or 4 seconds if you're Dan Mullen. Call timeout so you only have one play, either kick it or go for it.
4th and goal. Michael Pirine, right at the goal line. Touchdown.
Garland did a great job for Tennessee. Look at on the middle of that screen, breaking through. It looked like Pirine might just have broken.
Was that ball coming loose as Pirine got to the goal line? They called it a touchdown, but that first look looked as if Pirine might not have had complete control of the football when he got to the goal line.
That's Garland on contact.
Is that ball out? Well, it's very hard to tell. Again, it was called a touchdown on the field. Tennessee will start the third quarter with the football, and they're going to need to find some answers on offense. Total yards of offense in the first half for Tennessee, and they're down by 17 to Kyle Trask and the Gators. Time to go back to the studio. The halftime report. Just about set for the start of the third quarter here at the Swamp. The Vols will start the third quarter with the football. But Kyle Trask put up 204 yards of passing offense in the first half and a 17-0 lead. Bob Wischusen here with Dan Orlovsky. Allison Williams will join us in just a moment. Only 88 yards of total offense in the first half for Tennessee. On the surface, you would say, well, that's awful. They have no hope. They can't even make a first down. But they hurt themselves as much as they were stopped by the Gators. They had plenty of opportunities to put some points on the board in the first half, just couldn't do it.
Well, you said it. They've really just hurt themselves. It's the self-inflicted wounds because they've had moments where they've moved the football. They need to run the ball a little bit better, but we talk about some mistakes that they made. First of all, down in the red zone, ball's right on Juwan Jennings' hands. Tipped up, pick, takes points off the board. Then Garantano doesn't see coverage change. Throws it right to Marco Wilson for an interception. Then he's got Wood Anderson. This is not wide open. This is you're the only guy in the field. If he just throws that to him, it's likely a touchdown. So there are some plays there for this offense. They literally just have to go and make them. But it's going to start with being good on first down and getting some kind of run game going.
And that second drive where they got down to the 2-yard line and then threw the pick, a fair catch called for, and allowing it to simply go into the end zone was Ty Chandler. Allison?
Bob, 9 carries, 15 yards. That was the biggest concern for Jeremy Pruitt at the half. Tennessee's inability to run the ball. He said offensively, we have to be more efficient, and we have to take advantage of the opportunities that are there. He said we've had guys open on the outside, and we can't get the ball to him. He said it's key for us on this opening drive to establish something offensively, be efficient, and find a way to score.
And they have made a quarterback change. Not completely unexpected. The true freshman, Ryan Moore, is in the game. They'll start with Eric Gray. True freshman to true freshman. And a gain of about 5.
The true freshman got some playing time last week. The Ocala resident. This is going to open up a little bit more of the quarterback run game for this offense. And we just saw them hand it off to number 3, Eric Gray, another explosive, dynamic freshman. We could be watching the future of Tennessee's offense right now.
Draw play to Gray. Pays the price at the 35-yard line. David Reese got him around the ankles, and then Brad Stewart came up and lowered the boom. But that's 2 runs to the true freshman Eric Gray and a first down.
And Eric Gray is a guy that Tennessee fans will be very familiar with the style. Reminds me a lot of Alvin Kamara, the star for the New Orleans Saints right now. One cut back, incredibly versatile. One of those guys you have to get the ball to him.
Quick hitter, Juwan Jennings. And his helmet came off. He picks up 8 yards. Jonathan Grenard put some pressure on him. And Juwan Jennings is going to have to leave the field for 1 play at least, but it's second down and 2.
See Tennessee getting some guys run on, run off, as Juwan Jennings has had himself a really big afternoon so far. Getting the Pope, the tight end Pope on the field. Look for them to run behind him.
There's another quick slant. And looking to break a tackle, Marquez Callaway. To the 36-yard line of the Gators. Callaway's first catch. Check that, Brandon Johnson with a catch all the way down to the 36-yard line, and some momentum for the first time in quite a while with the quarterback switch for Tennessee. Or out of the pocket, being chased by Grenard. Gets to the sideline. He's got an extra gear and does well to scamper out of bounds. It looks like he lost a yard, though, as Grenard and Schuler were after him for the Gators, so that will be a 1-yard sack for that Gator defensive front. Actually lost a couple of yards.
I like the fact that Tennessee has started this drive spread out a little bit, utilizing some of those run-pass options, a little bit of tempo. It's allowing Maurer to be really decisive with his ball placement.
Tipped ball, and it falls in no man's land, incomplete. So it will be 3rd down and 12. Grenard got the tip.
He's going to have a little completion right there. Grenard's been so impactful getting his hands on the football without getting home. Now for Maurer right here, you're somewhat in field goal range, right? Points are going to be paramount right now, so big thing is if there's something underneath, get it out of your hands and get a completion. In Florida, look for them to play some coverage, make the young kid think.
They do just that. They'll fire one to the sideline, and reaching up to make the catch is Josh Palmer. Oh, did the true freshman let that one rip? 17 yards and a 3rd down conversion for the Vols.
Decisive, though. There's not holding the ball in the pocket. I see someone open as Palmer pushes vertical. Does a nice job of coming back to the football, and then strong hands go up high and make that catch. But how about the decisiveness in the ball placement by Maurer?
Maurer's going to lob one down the sideline for Callaway, and it's out of bounds and incomplete. Flag out. Marco Wilson was there in coverage. Callaway, the intended receiver, contact at the pylon.
There's no foul for defensive pass interference. The ball was ruled uncatchable. 2nd down.
So an uncatchable ball lifts the flag up. It'll be 2nd and 10.
I mean, it's definitely pass interference at the point of contact on Marco Wilson, but the ball was thrown 3 or 4 yards out of bounds, so that's why this is not PI. It lands off the white. We used to call that a pizza ball. If you did that in practice or in a game, you have to buy everybody a new room pizza.
Ty Chandler is now in a tailback on 2nd down and 10. Or throws one into traffic. A dangerous throw for Cedric Tillman.
All right, so last 3rd down, Todd Grantham, their defensive coordinator for Florida, decided to play some coverage. It didn't work out. You're not going to let a true freshman sit back there and hang out in this pocket. I'd imagine some pressure. I want to see this out of Tennessee. You've got Eric Gray in the tailback. Get me a screen. See if you can get a screen versus some pressure here and get him out in space. Could be a big play for your offense.
And the true freshman Maurer could be looking at a blitz. He is under some pressure. Tripped up, and he goes down. Jeremiah Moon brought him down. Abu Shuzan, Dan Orlovsky, and Allison Williams. A perfect day to watch a football game here in Gainesville. And to this point, the Gators have been just about perfect. A chance for Tennessee to get on the board. They've got Ransom Aglia, who's a terrific place kicker. 8 for 8 so far this season from 40 yards out. Made 10 in a row, stretching back to last season. Trying to at least dent the scoreboard for the first time for the Vols. And he is such a good kicker, the announcer jinx can't even get him. He has made 11 in a row. Tennessee's on the board. Out to the 25-yard line on the touchback for the Gators.
communication.
Play clock winding down. Trask over the middle, knocked away. That time staying in the middle of the field was Nigel Wuerffel, and he knocked it away from Freddie Swain.
I mean, it's man-to-man coverage. This is the right throw. You'd love to see Swain come a little bit flatter to not allow Nigel Wuerffel to get his hand in there, and that's what was taking so much of that communication from that offensive line, was that a blitz was coming. But a great play by Nigel Wuerffel of not making contact and slipping that left hand in.
Screen. Van Jefferson. Got a bounce shot at the first down. Trevon Flowers. Although it looks like they're going to give him the 35-yard line, and that should be a first down for Florida.
There's going to be a little bit of this cat and mouse game between Jeremy Pruitt for Tennessee and Dan Mullen, the play caller for Florida. Is Tennessee's really only had success defensively when they've come after Florida. Well, you expose yourself to some of the screen game that we just saw right there, so it's going to be the timing of both those calls.
Swain goes in motion. There's a blitz coming off the edge. They throw to Swain right behind the blitz, and he's got the first down. Just the perfect play call with pressure coming off the edge.
I mean, for a play caller, you want teams to blitz you if you want to call screen passes, because the numbers, if you bring people on the pressure, there's obviously less people left in any kind of coverage. And that's what Dan Mullen felt right there, was here comes another pressure, get the ball out, screen, I've got a numbers advantage.
Michael Piron. Cross midfield, picks up about 4. Yeah, the true freshman Henry Toho was there on the tackle, but a couple of flags thrown from the secondary.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, number 35. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. Number 72, whose helmet came off, can remain in the game.
That's the third 15-yard penalty in the game called against Jeremy Pruitt's team.
And that's a senior right there, in Daniel Batuli, who sometimes when you're a freshman, which again, Tennessee's very young, only 6 seniors playing, when you're a freshman, you make those mistakes, okay, but when you have your senior doing it, that's where, as a coach, is incredibly frustrating.
Piron up the middle, inside the 30-yard line for 3 more yards.
You know, I'd say for Florida's run game, after watching some tape and just seeing here today, their offensive line has probably gotten a little bit too much criticism for the run game. I would say LaMichael Piron as a back right now, he's not trusting his eyes with where to go. There was a massive hole off the right side, right behind Lucas Cole right there, that he just missed. That's something that they need to get better. He needs to get better at for this run game to get where they needed to.
Play action for Trask. Floating one towards Swain in the end zone. Touchdown. Second touchdown reception of the season for Freddie Swain. Kyle Trask, 15 of 18, 257, and 2 touchdowns. Not too shabby. 24-3, Florida's got the lead. Kyle Trask, touchdown pass number 2. Freddie Swain, touchdown reception number 2 on the season. And for Kyle Trask's mom, Alyssa, A chance for a chop in the swamp as her son has powered the Gators as the backup quarterback to Felipe Franks. Dislocated ankle for Franks, out for the season. So far the Gators have not missed a beat as Trask was nearly flawless in their comeback at Kentucky in the fourth quarter on the road last week. And Dan, flawless so far this afternoon. Eric Gray, tackle for loss by Amari Burney.
And guys, keep in mind that on offense, they're without their starting left tackle, Wanye Morris, very talented freshman. He hasn't been able to play, injured his right ankle. They're taping it up. We'll see if he can get back out there.
Out of the pocket. He's going to tuck it under. And a little dead leg to the sideline. That'll bring up another third down. He picks up about 4. So it's third down and a long 5. Close to 6.
The next time Tennessee gets into that empty formation, they need to throw the ball down the middle of the field. Florida's safeties are sitting on everything. It's a touchdown. And as you get into third and fourth, Florida's just lined up and played man-to-man coverage lately and said, Tennessee, you're not good enough. I want to find 15, Juwan Jennings. I want to motion him, see if I can get a pick or a rub route and him beat man.
That is Jennings in motion. Maurer instead takes a shot down the sideline. No chance to connect with Josh Palmer.
They had so much success early on finding Juwan Jennings, especially on third down. If you're going to motion him, he should be read number 1. And let your young quarterback rely on the senior to go make some plays for him.
So Joe Doyle, number 2 in America in net punting, coming into today. Try and change field position. Wobbly kick, Freddie Swain, fair catch. And gets hit. That's going to be about as dumb a penalty as you can commit. And look who commits it. The last guy you would think that would be guilty of that kind of a mistake, Juwan Jennings. A clear fair catch signal was made. And then Jennings runs right into Swain. It's going to cost him 15 yards.
Kick catch interference on the kicking team, number 15. 15-yard penalty. Kick. First down.
That's the 4th 15-yard penalty of the game for Tennessee. Welcome back to the swamp. Guy's eating a gator. That's pretty gross. And Pierce, 5 yards. 35-0, Wisconsin over Michigan. Let that sink in. Pierce pops forward for about 1.5 yards. It'll be third down and 3 for the Gators. And at what point does the conversation, even with most die-hard Michigan fans, if they're not there already, turn to Jim Harbaugh never ever seems to win the big litmus test game that's going to set up a Michigan season?
Tell me how you really feel. No, I agree with you. This is the season that certainly has been set up for him in success. Wisconsin looks to be much better than some people anticipated. Really on the defensive end, they're playing so well, but Michigan's got a lot of questions around that football team.
Trask somehow squeezes the slant in for a first down to Van Jefferson. And Van Jefferson's got something to say to Bryce Thompson after the play is over.
Van Jefferson coming in from the left side of your screen. Trask waiting, man coverage, trusting that Van would be physical enough at the point of reception. Van Jefferson, guy that I certainly played underneath his dad, Sean Jefferson, as a wide receiver coach for the Lions, cut the same way, incredibly competitive.
Now the wide receiver coach for the Jets. Trask curls it to the sideline. Tomo coming untouched on the blitz.
We've seen a couple of that times today that decision out of Kyle Trask where not in a good place, whether it's somebody's covered or I've got a guy coming unblocked, and just waste it. And as a play caller, Dan Mullen now knows, okay, when I call the play and it's not there, he'll get rid of it. And that gives him confidence. I can call more shots, more plays because I trust him.
Another blitz. It gets home again. Trask trying to unload to Jefferson. It's 3rd down and 10.
Left tackle Forsythe does a nice job of just catching a piece of two. Allowed Kyle Trask enough to at least bail and get the ball out of his hands. We call that being warm. You're not hot, but you're certainly warm. Good job by the left tackle Forsythe. I expect Jeremy Pruitt to come after Kyle Trask right here. Don't be surprised if you see some kind of slip screen out of Florida.
There's a 5-man rush. Trask over the middle. Wide open was the tight end Kyle Pitts as Bryce Thompson fell down. Nigel Warrior made the stop, but Bryce Thompson, the outside corner, was laying on the deck as Pitts turned in.
Please refer to him as right name, Young Kelsey. Love the inside release and the suddenness at the top. That stick over his left foot. Shaking the corner. Mismatch problem for this year and likely one more for Florida's offense.
Trask taking a shot towards the end zone for Grimes. It's tipped and intercepted. Alontae Taylor on the carry gets a pick. And it's another takeaway for the Tennessee defense, their 3rd.
Kyle Trask been a little bit indecisive on this drive. Tried to fit the ball in with the safety in the middle of the field. Alontae Taylor trailing behind as Jackson's there at contact. Grimes trying to go up and make a play, and Alontae Taylor there for the tipped pick.
So Alontae Taylor, first true freshman to start a season opener in 6 seasons when he did that last year. Now Jeremy Pruitt pushes another quarterback button. They've got Garantano back in with the jet sweep to Josh Palmer, breaking tackles. And he picks up about 7 yards. How about this move? As they take out Brian Maurer, the true freshman, go back to Garantano. And we'll see if he can get something going after watching the last several series.
Let's be honest about Jared Garantano right now in his career. It hasn't been a good situation for a quarterback. Some lack of talent around him, devoid of an offensive line, a bunch of play callers. Now you're gonna play, you're our starter, you don't play great, you get benched, go back in the game. And challenge anybody to find some success in that.
Draw play to Eric Gray, the freshman, to the sideline. Out of bounds, out across the 40-yard line to the 42 as we answer our Aflac trivia question. The last time an unranked Tennessee team beat a top 10 opponent, you have to go all the way back to 1989. They took down 6th-ranked UCLA.
And then what kind of message are you sending to Brian Maurer? You had a couple nice little drives. You made a mistake, is a young mistake, and you got to come off the field now.
Tano out of the pocket. Finds its way to Callaway. Callaway breaks a tackle. Stays in bounds to the Florida 31-yard line. So all of a sudden, Jared Garantano, after watching the last few series, comes in with a little rhythm, and this might take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. As he wants to play with pace. And they are not able to get a snap off before the end of the 3rd.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
Can the Vols breathe a little life back into this game? We'll find out when we start the 4th quarter in a moment. A day that has been mostly frustration for Jeremy Pruitt's offense. In spite of the fact that the Gators have 24 points on the board, if you've watched this game, the Tennessee defense has done everything that it can do to keep their team in the game. Gray lost the football. And it looked like after Grenard knocked it out, that maybe the ball's recovered, but now the Gators are saying that Jawan Jennings didn't pick it up. And it is Gators football. Jawan Jennings looked as if he went over and scooped up the loose ball and somehow couldn't corral it. And the Tennessee offense gives it right back. Amari Burney with another fumble recovery.
Jonathan Grenard his buddy Zuniga's not playing. He wants to get player of the game. Just the physicality. Throws the tackle off him, gets his hand in there. Jennings tries to scoop it up. Left hand, pop the ball right on top. I'm stronger than you. Ball comes out for the young freshman, Eric Gray. And watch Jennings. What do they always say? Go fall on it rather than trying to scoop it up.
Back to the offense for Florida. Off another takeaway. Trask. He's going to take a shot down the sideline for Copeland. And Copeland drops the ball. What a break for Tennessee. Jacob Copeland's got a walk-in touchdown if he can hold on to the football. He beat Alontae Taylor down the sideline.
It's a beautiful throw by Trask. And Copeland kind of hesitates. He slows down a little bit, almost like he was having difficulty tracking that football. The redshirt freshman out of Pensacola is going to want that one back. Little double move on the outside to beat the corner. Beautiful throw by Trask.
Play action for Trask over the middle. Trayvon Grimes easily picking up a Florida first down. Another update with Matt.
Guys, scary moment here in the Michigan-Wisconsin game. Dylan McCaffrey keeping the ball. And watch the hit he takes there from Reggie Pearson. No surprise, it was ruled targeting. Pearson was ejected. Shea Patterson would come back in and lead the Wolverines to a touchdown. 35-8 Wisconsin.
We will keep our fingers crossed for McCaffrey that he's okay. That was a scary looking hit. Trask at midfield. Swings one to Piron. Jalen McCullough came up to make the stop for the Vols. How about this number? Felipe Franks has never thrown for more than 282 yards in a game. Last year set his career high against Vanderbilt. Kyle Trask now has 292 yards passing today. And now Emory Jones goes in the game. Zone read. Down to the 36-yard line goes Piron. Well, we have all returned to our normal lives, most of us here in the U.S., but folks in the Bahamas are still being affected, obviously trying to rebuild their lives after Hurricane Dorian. Please head to redcross.org/ESPN or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to donate now and help our neighbors in the Bahamas. As Piron goes up the middle, breaks a tackle. And he's down to the 22-yard line. And with that being said, there's catastrophic flooding again this year in the Houston area with the tropical storm that has dumped, again, unimaginable rain, Harvey-esque rain in many neighborhoods surrounding Houston. So the Red Cross will be in their backyards as well, trying to help those folks out again. So please give what you can. Emory Jones hands one to Pierce. Damian Pierce dragging tacklers down to the 10-yard line. 12 more.
What you're starting to see right now is a defense for Tennessee that's been on the field a long time. And Emory Jones coming in is making that defense just hesitate a little bit, and then Pierce being physical, finishing some runs.
Emory Jones, one to Piron, but that was a little iffy on the exchange. And check that Pierce. As Pierce found the football, he may go back and talk to his quarterback for a moment, because that was not the smoothest exchange as To'o was there to make the stop.
Oh, this matters for Emory Jones as well. Remember, last week he's really like the scout team quarterback. So now he's up this week getting reps with guys that are going to be playing in the game, in those handoffs, in the meshes. they all matter. And so these are important reps for him to come in and get in with the guys that are going to be out there on Saturdays.
Pierce breaks another tackle. And Stutter steps into the end zone with a 10-yard Gator touchdown.
That drive's going to make Dan Mullen happy. They want to get this run game going, and that drive was about run game, physicality, imposing your will.
McPherson with another point after. 31-3. The Gators on top, and that was a statement drop.
The big back, Damian Pierce, not going to arm tackle him into the end zone. Florida big.
All the teams that you would think are winning big or ought to win big are doing just that right now. As Florida is dominating Tennessee. Alabama up big. And this will be a touchback for Tennessee.
Guys, it's Extra Yard for Teachers Week, which is an annual celebration led by the College Football Playoff Foundation to honor great teachers across the country. And Tennessee head coach Jeremy Pruitt is a former teacher. He spent 3 years as a PE teacher at Willis Valley Elementary School in Fort Payne, Alabama. Now, that's the same elementary school that UF kicker Evan McPherson went to. In fact, Coach Pruitt taught his brother Logan there. And so I spoke to Logan. I said, all right, what was Mr. Pruitt like as a gym teacher? He goes, you just need to know about dodgeball. Let's just say there was no mercy. He was a head football coach, even as a PE teacher. And to learn more, you can follow the CFP Extra Yard to learn more about the Extra Yard for Teachers, guys.
Small world, right? As Todd Chandler picks up about 3.
His little brother's a great kicker, right? As well, McPherson's little brother asked Jeremy Pruitt, like, did you offer him? He goes, man, he's got offers from everybody.
Tano gives it to Todd Chandler again. Chandler has a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
I think for Tennessee right now, mentioned it a couple times, this is a very young football team. And this 10 minutes is going to be really important for them. Their next 4 weeks are absolutely brutal with their schedule. And so this 10 minutes of you cut the tape on tomorrow morning, you're going to see kids who want to play, who don't want to play, who quit, who don't quit, who play with effort, and who don't play with effort, not dependent on their circumstances.
Tano goes down again. Nowhere to go with the football downfield, and the pocket collapses, and he ends up underneath the true freshman Chris Bogle. Well, not only does Tennessee on the road take on a Florida team today that's number 9, but over the next 3 weeks they play 2 of the top 3 teams in America, in Georgia, and then at Alabama, sandwiched around a game against Mississippi State in Knoxville. So that's life of the SEC. If you're in the SEC, at some point you're going to play teams that are ranked in the top 10, and they play 3 in a 4-week stretch. Shanked punt from Doyle. It gets a good roll. Out of bounds. Check that, Paxton Brooks out of bounds at the 35-yard line of Florida. It has been a dominant performance by the Gators as we continue our Dr. Pepper Championship drive of the week. 31-3. 9.5 minutes to go. Malik Davis and Kyle Trask in the backfield for Florida as they start at their own 35-yard line with a screen to Jacob Copeland. Copeland drops what could have been a touchdown down the sideline on the last drive for Florida. And they come right back to him here.
One of the things that I've been really impressed with today with Dan Mullen in regards to Kyle Trask is he had to learn how to Kyle Trask thinks in a game, right? Like he's been so used to Felipe Franks. You got to learn how your quarterback thinks and feels and see things. And Dan Mullen has been spot on today for Kyle Trask, and really last drive, Emory Jones.
And now they've got Emory Jones back in. Malik Davis takes the handoff. Gets out across the 40-yard line. Now, at some point, would you like, if you're Dan Mullen, certainly these quarterbacks, I guess, to settle in on an offense? Or do you think there's always room for an Emory Jones package to be successful?
There's always room for an Emory Jones package. One, the special player that he is and will probably be in his career here. Two, you force defensive coordinators to have to plan for multiple things. You only get so much time to prepare as a coordinator for college kids during the week. So you give these coaches a lot to have to prep for, and this game plan that you present to a team is massive, and so that only puts more stress on a defense.
Emory Jones spreads out the balls, and quarterback straight ahead run for a first down. Vacate the middle of that defense by going spread, and Emory Jones turns into a running back.
And you said it, you get in that empty set, spread the field 53 1/3 wide, and if they only leave 5 guys in the box between the tackles, when you have Emory Jones on the field, you go, this is a great situation for us to be a running football team, and he adds that element, not only of getting 4, 5, 6 yards, but 50, 60 yards. That could be big plays.
Jones swings one to Davis. Malik Davis to midfield.
Let's talk about the defensive end, Jonathan Grenard today. We saw it early on. Down in the red zone, can't get to the quarterback, let me get my hand up. An impact would have been a sure touchdown with the Mutombo finger wag. Bench press the offensive tackle, make the tackle. Then again, can't get home, let me get my left hand up. Mutombo finger wag, and then I'm too big and strong for you, Eric Gray. Left hand down, force the fumble. He has been an absolute destructive force today for Florida's defense.
In the absence of Jabari Zuniga, he has been a difference maker as Malik Davis tries to get to the sideline. And Danny, such a great story. But here's a kid that was supposed to go to Kentucky. His mom had $50 in her bank account. They got a hotel room, loaded up the car with gas, drove to Lexington to a camp where Grenard was supposed to put the cap on and commit to Kentucky. And at the camp, the Kentucky coaches were waffling on their commitment. They didn't know what they were going to do. So she called a friend and said, will you please wire me $100? Because on the way back to the hotel, the phone rang, and it was Todd Grantham, who was at the time the defensive coordinator at Louisville. There's a slam for Van Jefferson. He makes the catch. And Todd Grantham told the Grenards, hey, come on up here to Louisville. I'll take you. And so they wired $100, friends did, to the Grenard family. And that was enough money to get them with gas money to Louisville. That's where he ended up playing. And that became his guardian angel. And now as a grad transfer, because they had a coaching change at Louisville, he had a year left of eligibility. He decided to follow Coach Grantham down here to Gainesville to close out his career as a Gator. As Emory Jones going to walk one down the sideline. Jump ball at the goal line, batted around. And it's incomplete. Copeland, the intended receiver. Kenneth George. All right, Matt. 2nd down and 10 for the Gators here is Malik Davis. He gets hit from behind. So that was the goal line stand game. Alabama stops Penn State at the goal line. I do the Jets on the radio in New York, and Marty Lyons is my partner. He was on that Alabama defense for Bear Bryant. So it's 4th down and a foot. They're lining up to see what they're going to do. And Chuck Fucina's playing for Penn State. He's standing next to Marty. And talk about the ultimate cockiness of knowing you've got a team's number. Chuck Fucina says, it's 4th down and about a foot. What do you think we should do? And Marty leans in and goes, I think you should pass. They ran. Goal line stand.
Bad decision.
Bad decision. They didn't listen. Marty called the play as Malik Davis goes up the middle for a couple of yards. And Alabama won a national championship with a goal line stand in that Sugar Bowl.
Imagine Alabama's had some defensive linemen think the same way over the past couple years. There might be a gentleman that plays for the Jets right now that might fall under that category. Quentin Williams.
They need to get him back on the field. So McPherson from 37. Got it. What a performance offense by the Gators, up by 31 here in the Swamp. We just got lucky. That Bass comes out of Lake Alice. Now, you saw he was wearing the Batman hat. There's Robin. We found him in the stands as well. Is today National Batman Day?
It is.
I was alerted to that.
The biggest
this is the
question,
kind of knowledge you bring.
Yeah, the biggest question would be, who's the best Batman? Who's been the best Batman in your...
Adam West.
Never heard of him.
There you go. Perfect. How much younger you are than me could not have been summed up better just now. Than you have no idea who
That was a pretty easy Christian Bale answer.
No. Adam West is Batman. All the movie guys are frauds. Adam West is Batman. Now Brian Maurer, the freshman, is back in for an offense for Tennessee that is just trying to get to the bus and regroup, because it does not get any easier. They have a couple of weeks to prepare. They'll have a bye next week, and then it will be Georgia in 2 weeks, coming to Knoxville.
There's not going to be a lot of good to take from this tape for Tennessee's offense. They've got to make, obviously, a decision who's going to play quarterback for them. And then when they do, what's this quarterback do well? What's he not do well? And we got to craft their offense around that, because I don't know if they're doing that for these quarterbacks just yet. And their offensive line's young, and they need to play better, no doubt.
Ty Chandler down to about the 36-yard line for a first down. Brian Maurer, we had him as a 4-star prospect as far as our ESPN recruiting guys were concerned. He went to the Elite 11 quarterback camp, and he set county records in Ocala here in Florida as a senior. Threw for 3,500 yards and 34 touchdowns just during his senior year. His high school career threw for 64 touchdowns. And he really may be the quarterback of the future for the Vols. Is the future now, as Tim Jordan gets knocked down with under a minute to go. And I guess you also have to, Dan, if you're Jeremy Pruitt, with a wide-angle lens, now look at what your season is about as you start off the year at 1-3. Is it just about, even if that quarterback takes his lumps, putting a freshman out there and allowing him to make his mistakes, just get ready for the future?
When you hear Jeremy Pruitt talk, he talks about practice during the week. He goes, the kids who practice the best, those are going to be the guys that play. I would say this, like, in regards to Jared Garantano, like, you have a relatively good idea of what he is and who he is. Now, again, the situation around him has not been good. But if you believe that Maurer gives you the best chance, or as good of a chance to go win football games, you play him, give some energy or juice to this football team, and see if he can be your guy moving forward.
Looks like the last play of the game is going to be a handoff to Tim Jordan. And Jordan gets walloped by Cedric Brunson, and that completes a very convincing win for Dan Mullen's Gators, 34-3. The first test, full game test, in front of the home crowd without Felipe Franks for a backup quarterback in Kyle Trask. And all Trask does is come out and throw for 293 yards and a couple of touchdowns. And to talk with the head coach about that, here's Allison.
Thank you guys very much, Coach. I know the story coming into this game was your new starter at quarterback, but I want to start with your defense and what they did well today to force those turnovers and hold Tennessee to 3 points.
We really played hard. We had 11 guys run the ball. We keep talking about it. We've had some opportunities, great turnovers. First couple games didn't get them. We just stress 11 guys run as hard as you can in the football. Good things will happen. We played hard when that happens, and we had the opportunity, got after him, made some plays.
I got to ask you about this guy here, Kyle Trask. Obviously, he's played for you, but this was his first start. Yeah. What did he do well?
He did a great job. Well, we expected that. He really came in, managed the game well. You saw him make good decisions. We didn't have to hold anything back. We threw the whole game plan out there. He knows that he's played it before, and I thought did an amazing job. You know, I mean, led us up and down the field, made all kinds of great reads, made a bunch of great throws. You know, had some confidence out there. Hopefully he had some fun. They've been waiting a long time for this. I hope he had a fun day.
There's a smile finally. It certainly looked fun for you out there. And Kyle, I know you tried to say that this was still a normal game for you, but it has been since your freshman year of high school, since you took the first snap in a football game. So what did it feel like for you today?
I mean, it felt great. I mean, we had a great week of practice, and I was ready to come out here, and all phases of the team did a great job, offense, defense, special team, and I'm just really proud of our team.
What did allow you guys to work so efficiently on offense today?
We had a great week of practice. Everybody was, all dialed in the whole week, and I mean, I wasn't surprised to come out here and produce the way we did.
What was going on with you and Felipe Franks throughout the game? He seemed to really be in your ear a lot, trying to help and support you.
Yeah, like I said last week, he's a great leader for our team, and he's always there. He's always at the facility helping out, and he's a great friend of mine. So a great teammate, and he's just trying to help me out after every series.
Kyle, thanks so much for the time. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kyle Trask certainly looks like a starting quarterback, played like it today. And Florida wins, going away over Tennessee. For Dan Orlovsky and Allison Williams and our entire crew, I'm Bob Wischusen. So long from Gainesville. We head back to Matt in the studio.